Hey, Shalom, I want to start with souls by giving all praise to Yahweh Shem Kodash. Double honors to the apostles of GMS and honors to brothers doing the work in truth while sincerity. This is a quick one on, this article. This is 6th of August, late at night. Today is the 8th of August. It's actually 2 days old. It says US doesn't seek good relations, it demands total submission. Right, this is coming from the Nicaragua president, right? And this is what we know. This is what's been seen. It's like you don't agree with what you call it, America's wine, its philosophies. What does America do? For instance, it drops democracy bombs, right? You don't believe in democracy, so we'll give you democracy. Look at Iraq, Afghanistan. Look at the whole world, really, right? Under Esau's vibration, right? Because what the scripture says is Revelation 6 and 4 says, and they went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another, right? And there was given unto him a great sword, right? So it says a red horse, that's a horse that was red, that's representative of Esau, right? And it says, and power was given to him. Hey, you read let me get this real quick. This is Daniel 4:17. Right, it says, this matters by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, right, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and setteth up over it the basest of men, right? So, would it say power was given to him? That power was given by the Lord. So the Lord said, hey, Esau, bam, hey, his power, hold that. You hold that for a second, right? It says, and that take peace from the earth, and that's what Esau's done, right? He dropping, atomic bombs, testing nuclear weaponry, all around the earth's waters, oceans and stuff, right? In remote places of the world, right? Having nuclear power plants on earthquake fault lines and all of that shit, right? All of these things, have taken peace from the earth. Right, and that's helped America have that hegemony that it has now. Right, so then that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword. Right, and that sword is a killing instrument, the blessing that was given to him by his father, by Esau's father, right, which is Jacob. Oh, Jacob, Salaki, Isaac. Right, it says where is that? It's Genesis. This is Genesis 27. The blessing. Bear with me. Right, so this is Genesis 27 and 39. It says, and Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above, right? And by thy sword shalt thou live, right? And shall serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have dominion, thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck, right? And currently Esau now has dominion over us, right? And he basically says here, and by thy sword shalt thou live, right? So, and the Lord has magnified that sword. The Lord has given him the technology, right? Because it's the Lord who's given him the technology to have that great sword. And the ultimate one is the ICBM nuclear missile, right? It says Isaiah 54 and 16 says, behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, right? So it's the Lord that created the smith, right? It says, and bringeth forth an instrument for his work, and I have created the waste to destroy. And that waste is talking about these ICBM nuclear missiles, right? So it was the Lord that really gave Esau, the technology, the understanding to make this weaponry, right? Which, you go back to Revelation 6 and 4, right? It says, and power was given to him that sat thereon. Right? So, and you've seen that, and that's how America's got into that position of power, but right, the Lord says, the Lord is basically switched up the play, right? It says Joel 3 and 10, right? This is, I'll start from 9. It says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, right? Prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up, right? This is in the valley of Jehoshaphat, right? To for this third world's war. It says, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears, right? So your tools that you basically representing, stop doing agriculture and then now start funneling money into weaponry, into arms, into into war, right? It says, let the weak say I am strong, right? So you have now these weaker nations that are coming up, right? And then they're not even being phased. Well, obviously everyone's phased by America. Everyone knows the power of America, but they've got the bomb too, right? And no one wants that heat, right? Let's say America completely, let's say they want to drop nukes on India, right? Let's say they want to completely obliterate India, right? They might obliterate India, but all that needs to happen is one nuke to hit America, and America's fucked, right? If it hits the right place, that's like taking out taking out a major country in a series of countries that has long ranging effects. So no one really wants that heat, but the Lord's going to put it in their spirit, right, to get that heat, right? So that's what's really equalized what it is right now. And that's why America right now is more rash, is threatening this, that, and the other. But really, ultimately, it's the Lord is moving us in the right direction for this third world's war, right? I want to get into this as well. So Isaiah 47:3 says, thy nakedness shall be uncovered, right? Yea, that shame shall be seen, right? That nakedness is, all the, all of America's secrecy, all of its lies, all of that's being uncovered, right? The true nature of this devil's being uncovered, right? And this is, and this is another example of it, because they like to play the role of the world police. Oh, we care about the children, we care about this, we care about that, but more and more, America Esau is being revealed to being a hypocrite, right? Says, I will take vengeance and I will not meet thee as a man. So when this talking about that part there, is talking about when the Lord comes back, right? When the Lord comes back, he's going to come back in power, right? When Lord Yahushua comes back, he's going to come back in power, well, because the last time he came as a man, they killed him, right? So the Lord's going to come back this time, and he's going to be in power, and he's going to, you read 2nd Ezra the 13th chapter, which I won't get into, right? You read 2nd Ezra the 13th chapter, it talks about how the Lord is going to come in a massive chariot, right? And he's just going to destroy those that will try and fight him, right? It says from a multitude there was nothing to be perceived but dust and smell of smoke, right? So the Lord's going to get busy when he comes back, right? I've got a couple in Habakkuk. Start from verse 4. It says, Habakkuk 2:4, right? It says, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith, right? Thing I didn't even mean to click on that one, but you look at it, you look at like an Israelite spirit, Jake will be poor, and Jake will, this is a quote unquote community of Jakes, right? I don't know about the ones in America, but for instance, where I'm from, right? You got Jakes. More time you try to help each other, right? But but even saying that, Jake still has that spirit of trying to get one over on their brother, despite us all being fucked up. So I can't even use that as an example, right? But what can be said though is, in our spirit, we're compassionate people, right? Israel's a compassionate people, whereas whereas these heathens, the Edomites especially, America, they ain't compassionate. If they're compassionate, why have they why did they enslave the Negro, right? Why did they commit mass genocide against Gad and Reuben, right, the North American Indians, right? Why did they drop napalm in Vietnam and Agent Orange, right? Why did they drop atomic weapons in Japan, Hiroshima and Nagasaki, right? Yeah, but they got a different spirit to us, man, right? Tate, right? It says Habakkuk 2:5. Now it says, yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, right? It says his philosophies, right? Like I said, you don't agree with America's philosophy, one of them being that America's ruler of the world, right? Then Esau comes and he destroys you, right? It says he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, right? Which is why, the amount of coups that happen in around the world that are orchestrated by America. Like you have the Ukraine situation where you had American diplomats on the ground despite being against international law. But then, being a slit devil, they'll don't try, accuse someone else of breaking international law, right? For instance, when you had the thing with the president of Venezuela almost getting bombed, right? What did they say? America was like, that had nothing to do with us. Why? Because they have a history of going to Latin America and performing coups, right? It says, who enlargeth his desire is hell, right? And is as death, right? So he's as death. He goes around just killing and oppressing and destroying whither he will, right? It says, and cannot be satisfied, right? He's got power over the whole world, and he still wants more. He's got everyone in subjection. He still wants more, right? It says, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Shall not these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How long? To him that ladeth himself with thick clay, and that thick clay is representative of of debt, right? It says verse 12 says, woe to him that buildeth a town with blood, and establisheth a city by iniquity. That's what America's going around doing, right? Create building their hegemony by the sword, by killing people, right? Which is why he's had all the nations in subjection, right? I'm gonna jump to verse 16. It says, thou art filled with shame for glory, drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered, right? The wickedness, the lies, deception of America being uncovered, right? It says, the cup of Yahweh's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory, right? So like I said, the American, the true nature of this devil is being, spewed out to the people know it now, and it's a shame unto him, right? And you speak about, the illegal wars that he's waged, well, all, the wickedness he's done to get America in the first place and to build it up to what it is, right? Which is why they tried, always control the narrative, right? I'll end with this as well, because it says Jeremiah 15:14 says, put yourselves in array against Babylon round about, all ye that bend the bow. And that bow is talking about, is representative of the ICBM nuclear missile, right? It says all ye that bend the bow, and this is one of the reasons why they're all going to shoot. Main one is because the Lord's going to put the spirit on them to do so, right? And they, in them, man, they're going to be like, look, man, this guy's just been doing all manner of wickedness all this time, right? Oppressing the people, right? To the point where, they go on, America's going to do something, right? And then that will be, let's say you keep pushing someone, you push someone. At first you're like, cool, but after a while, then there's a point where you click, and America's been pushing, and there'll be a point where everyone will just click, and then the Lord will put the spirit on them to shoot their missiles at America, right? So listen, let me finish up. So shoot at her, spare no arrow. So they're going to shoot all their missiles at her, right? It says, for she hath sinned against Yahweh, right? So, whatever missiles they have remaining at that point, man, when the Lord puts a spirit on these nations to shoot at America, they gon' go, man, and they ain't gonna spare. Right? They ain't gonna say, nah, I'm gonna leave this one out, because it ain't gonna be no use for them in the kingdom. They ain't gonna be no use for them once, America's and these cities have been destroyed. Right? So, Lord's will you edified. Until the next time, say shalom.